listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level. Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, the Underdog Show. I am your host and executive producer, and I'm thrilled to be here. This show, this audience just keeps growing and growing, and I attribute a lot of that to my co-host, the Doctor Who of business, Ben Shai. Welcome.
Hey, Dr. J.
Good to see you. How are you today?
Good to see you. You've been up all hours. I mean, guys, just to share, this woman is incredible. She's increased from 3 shows to 14 shows now in different areas. And I've got a lot of guests for you, actually, Dr. J, for some of your other shows.
I know.
Shout out today, and I've got some really, really great stories, not just for the Underdog show, but for some of your many other platforms which share such amazing insights to people all across the world.
Thank you, Ben. I hope that people are finding our shows not only entertaining, but also informative, because we do have people who come on and share some incredible stories, but yet also a lot of expertise. And thank you again for everything that you're doing to help bring guests to the program.
Wow. Anyway, talking about guests, we've got an amazing guest for today who has overcome a lot of stuff in her life, from way back from her childhood to her teens to her adult life, and what she's achieved throughout that is amazing. Against all odds, against what everyone ever said about her, she's managed to get a degree. She started her own business, and she was one of the first ladies to get her own patent in the UK, which is amazing. And on top of that, she's helping horses all over the world. So a shout out to all my horsey ladies, Nadia, Kathy, you know who you are. Please connect with Sandra. So, Dr. J,
How did you meet her?
How did I meet Sandra? Actually, she was suffering from cancer. She might mention about this a little later on, but she was at an event that I was, and she was sitting just behind me, and she was, I think she had crutches or something, because something had happened to her, and that's how we met at this event. And of course, this me being the crazy me, but somehow she seemed to like me, even though she was in so much pain. I swear to you, I'm thinking, oh, poor lady, but I'm still being, crazy me, and somehow we got on, and we had quite a few lovely pictures together, photographs together.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, should we bring her out?
Yes, we have to do the amazing Sandra Murphy.
Welcome.
Whoa.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello, Ben. How are you? Wonderful to see you again. It's lovely to meet you, Dr. Jacalyn.
Well, the pleasure is ours.
Sorry, Dr. J. When I first met Sandra at the event, because she was in such a bad state, and I don't know why she even came along, but she had to come there. She has so totally blossomed from that first time I met her. In fact, in the backstage, I was saying, Sandra, you look stunning. What's going on?
Oh, thank you.
You're glowing. You really look phenomenal.
Absolutely glowing.
Well, when you've been through what I've been through, to be here today, to be alive and to be here today is just so amazing. And, you've just got to live every minute, and every minute you're beautiful. Every minute you're here, you're beautiful. So, I just hope that comes across.
Well, you're absolutely beautiful, Sandra. Before we start, do share a little bit about some of your accomplishments.
So I don't know where to start, Ben. There's so much stuff that I've actually done through my life. I don't know where to start, really.
Let's start from your degree.
Okay, well, I'll go a little bit further back than that. I was in the I joined the RAF when I was 20 years old, and I did 12 years in the Royal Air Force, and I did a lot of sport because sport was really, really, important to me. And one of the things, obviously, with my horses, I've been with horses all my life, and I brought my horse along to my first RAF camp, and I was the first black female to actually compete in equine, equestrian events in the Royal Air Force. So that was really exciting because, like I say, nobody's ever done it before. So that was really good. And then I went on to actually found the Royal Air Force Saddle Club at RF Northolt, which is just along there on the A40, which is still going today. This was in 1994. So that was to help to provide horses for military personnel down in London, where it's very difficult to have that experience with horses down in the city. So that's really exciting. And so because I was in the RAF, I was nominated for the Veterans Award, and it was when I was out in Cyprus. One of my friends heard it on the radio when I was out in Cyprus on the British Forces radio, and nominated me for it, and I won the Entrepreneur of the Year through the veterans.
Woo, so yeah.
That was in 2019. But prior to that, this is when I met you, Ben. Prior to that, I'd just been diagnosed. I lost my dad in the January of 2019, and just after that, literally, I cremated him, and just after that, in the April, I got crushed by my horse, and she didn't do it on purpose. But I'm glad that she did, because she broke, I know I say this, but she broke 6 ribs down the side. She fractured my sternum. I had 2 fractured vertebrae in my back. And I was actually suffering from pleurisy and pneumonia at the same time. And when I went into hospital, because I collapsed at work 2 days later, I went into hospital, and they did an MRI scan, and they said to me, how are you still alive? And I said, what do you mean? They said, well, how are you still alive? You've got major crush injuries. You've got internal bleeding and everything. And I was like, really? oh dear. And they were just so shocked that I was, still actually going. And then they happened to mention that they'd seen these lesions on my bones. And I'm the way I am, really sort of, energetic and, really sort of, come on, let's get going. I've got lots to do. They said to me, but you're going to have to go and see the oncologist. And I said, well, how long is that going to take? And and they were like, no, you don't get it. And I was like, what do you mean? And they said, well, you've got cancer. And I was like, no, don't be silly. I've got far too many things to do. And I just wasn't having any of it. I was like complete denial. I was like, absolutely not. So when they said to me, well, if you do want to go and see the oncologist, please do go and see him, because we really recommend that you do. So I said, oh, okay, look, leave me, let me get my head around this, because I had to take my dad back to the Caribbean, because obviously he's from there, and I didn't really want him to be staying in here in his casket. I wanted to take him back and and lay him to rest. So I said, well, give me 6 months, and then, at the end of the day, if I'm not getting any better, I'll come back to you and we'll start treatment. So, I did try a lot of the therapies, a lot of the alternative therapies. I tried.
Sandra, we'll come back to that in a second, because that's part of the challenge you've overcome. But I do want to share with people that, one of the accolades you have is, your business, really.
Yeah.
So if you just share, how you got to even get a patent, just share.
Okay. Okay. Well, so I developed because I've been in horses all my life. I've been in horses since I was 3 years old, and I've always had my own horses. There was always the issue: how do you make a horse drink? It's one of the 850-year-olds saying you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So I just when I went to the university to study, I then came up with this formulation that did what I wanted it to do, basically. And so I took it to my horses, and my horses all loved it, and they weren't thirsty. Now, this is the main thing. They weren't thirsty. So because they weren't thirsty, I managed to override their thirst mechanism to allow them to drink. And so it was a breakthrough in equine nutrition. So I literally, before I put it out on the market, I researched it for a year, and then applied for my patent pending. Now, the thing about that, bringing a new product into the market, you need to protect it. You need to protect your idea, especially being a Black person as well. I know it sounds a bit odd, but it's true. You need to protect it, because people will try and take it from you. No matter what you are, they'll still try and take it from you. So I put the process in place 6 years ago now, and it cost me an awful lot of money to get this through, but it was scrutinised heavily through the European Union, and I managed to get the patent granted late in 2019. I'm the first Black woman, the ninth Black woman in the history of the UK to have a patent, and that means that the last Black lady that got a patent in the UK, it was in the 1800s. So it was that far back. I got it granted, and now I'm the first person in the liquid feed.
Brilliant.
Congratulations. That is outstanding. Woo!
Yeah.
I just want to mention, we do have a clip. I don't know when you want us to play it, but I want to.
So I was going about, that was my journey. That was the journey when I did have the cancer, and it is quite important, because it just allows people to realise that, you know, a positive mental attitude gets you a long way. And I never for 1 minute thought that I wouldn't recover. It never crossed my mind at all that I wouldn't recover. And so, you know, I think the clip that you're going to show is when I was losing my hair, when I actually was losing my hair. Now, the way I got round that, because it was so devastating for me to actually lose my hair, is that I got a charity involved, the Air Ambulance, Lincolnshire and Notts Air Ambulance, and I every strand of plait that came out was sponsored, and so I managed to raise nearly £500 for the Lincolnshire Air Ambulance. Yeah.
Wow! So you know, every hair that came out,
because I had plaits. So they were just coming out. The plaits were just breaking away from my scalp.
Sure.
Yeah,
so, you know, I've dated a lady who's gone through actually breast cancer, and she had to wear wigs, so I understand that. But I didn't realise that you got every came out. It broke away from my scalp, and everyone that came out was sponsored, and so I raised, you know, nearly £500 for that charity. But instead of crying every time one came out, I smiled, because I knew it was raising money for a charity that's very dear to my heart, and other horse riders, because the Air Ambulance is what saves lives.
Let's take a look at the clip.
Before we show the clip, can I just ask you, it's National Tea Day. Do horses drink tea? That's what I want to know.
No. My mother knows she didn't design them to drink tea. I'm sorry.
My mother drinks twining tea, by the way.
Really? So. Oh, I better show. I've got a whole selection here just for you, Dr. J. So we'll see what else she drinks. But let's have a look at this clip.
Let's have a look at the clip. Here we go.
Guys, it's me. I thought I'd do a quick video just to say thank you so much for everybody that's donated towards the Lincolnshire and Notts Air Ambulance. It looks like I've still got quite a head of hair, but really, to be fair, if you look at the top, you can see that it's all gone. It's all gone, but I disguise it well. Yeah, I disguise it well. And it should be, the rest of this probably will come out in the next few days or so. But like I say, doing this fundraiser for the Air Ambulance has really helped me to come to terms with the fact that losing my hair is, is quite, was quite painful. But now it's not too bad, knowing that it's raised the money for this cause. It's still going until I think it's the 18th of April. So I've put it up to £450. I can't believe it. I'm just absolutely gobsmacked that you guys are so generous and so kind. If we get there, we get there. If not, on the 18th of April, it finishes. and the rest of this will come off, and job done. So, you know, thank you. I can't thank you enough. It's a journey that I've got to go through, and you're helping me with all your kind words and your support, and especially obviously with your donations, especially with, you know, in these times at the moment where things are tough. They're tough for everybody.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That was 2 years ago?
Yeah. Well, that was actually last year. That was last year. That was this time last year.
It's unbelievable.
Can you see the total difference in complexion? That's
totally different
to then. Very, very different.
I was very ill, and I was on a lot of chemotherapy at the time when that was filmed. Yeah.
Well, I saw some of your pictures on Facebook as well, you know. So, yeah. Well,
we have to take a break and hear from our sponsors, but I'm so thrilled that you're here sharing your story. I'm so proud of you, everything that you've accomplished and how strong and brave you are.
Thank you, Dad. Thank you. That's lovely, Dr. J. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to play a clip from one of our sponsors, Listening to Smile, and the founders are Ian Morris and Dana Cato, and what they offer are two things: frequency-based music, that's mindfulness with health benefits, and also licensed music, that if you are playing music in your business, if you have a bar, you have a restaurant, you have a yoga studio, wherever it is, and you're playing live music, you have to have a license for that. You can't use your individual license from your own subscription account. So let's take a look, and then we'll be right back.
The music, services, and programs that we offer at Listening to Smile are based off of scientific studies and research, along with our own personal experiences and testimonials from our clients and our affiliates that we work with worldwide. My own personal journey began in around 2010, and I tried to find relief from a chronic illness that I was diagnosed with. And the traditional ways of healing, they tried to fit me in this box, and that didn't work for me for so many reasons. And this led me to a self-discovery that I never expected to be so life-changing. Healing is multifaceted. It requires us to really look at our whole selves and to get really honest about what we see. I started to see movement towards recovery when I started to integrate yoga into my life daily. When I started to incorporate the music into all aspects of my life, including my yoga practice, my healing completely accelerated, and listening to Smile's music helped me to open my consciousness. I was able to open my eyes to new perspectives and make changes that I needed to make in order to recover. The most noticeable difference that I saw right away, I mean like immediately after listening to my first frequency track, was how much my anxiety stopped, completely stopped. There was such a relief. My mind was actually quiet for the first time in so many years. I felt safe. I felt this comfort and this peace immediately. I continued to listen daily, and I found that amazing things were happening inside of me. I felt calmer, I felt happier. I felt like I was in this little bubble of peace. Physically, I started to see the changes happening. I started to see the things happening in my body that needed to happen for me to heal from my illness. I felt empowered, I felt hopeful, and something that I hadn't felt in years. This is why we at Listening to Smile integrate yoga and Listening to Smile music together. We see such a huge benefit from integrating the music into other modalities of healing. It accelerates these modalities, it steps them up to another level because it works on the brainwave states and the neural pathways in the brain. This is something that is not very easy for us to do alone at home, but the Listening to Smile music makes that possible. This is where real change happens. This is where the body and the mind sync up and work towards health of the being as a whole. That is true health, and Listening to Smile frequency music will get you there.
Hey.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah, I was just looking at another of my teas. This is the Chinese tea, actually. It's it's little flowers that you put in the tea, and they open up into like little, blossom, like a bit like Sandra.
Yes, she is blooming.
So Sandra, with our listeners listening to you, it seems like you're just this powerful person. Even through your cancer, you were this powerful person. Cancer, okay, you're not going to do anything to me. I'm going to make sure that if I suffer, I'm going to turn my suffering into kind of a benefit to the world by sharing some of my hair and stuff, which is amazing. That would never have thought to do that. But you had a dark time way back, and I know that you suffered from both sexism and racism, which kind of kept you down quite a bit. The UK at the time also had some challenges. It's not as embracing as it is today of many different races, but even in different areas, we still have some challenges. How did you get, going way back to just before you entered the Royal Air Force, or maybe it was the Royal Air Force, how did you get out of those dark times?
Well, you see, I never thought, when I was young, you don't really realize that it's racism, because you don't understand it. I mean, I'll give you a quick, for instance, when I was younger, I remember when I was about 6 or 7, I used to go to the sweet shop with a friend of mine, and we both lived on the same suburban street in Essex. We both had the same sort of parents, we had the same houses. My parents had a good job. We both had the same pocket money. But I used to go to the shop, and I used to have to give her the money. She used to go in the shop. She used to get her sweets. She used to get my sweets, and she used to come out, give me my sweets, and off we went to the park. Never thought anything of it. That's just the way it was. And then one day, the shopkeepers changed hands. And I think there was a Pakistani family came in and took over the shop. And I was allowed in. I couldn't believe it. It was like this Aladdin's den of beautiful sweets everywhere. I only had 5p. I think it was a shilling at the time. And I went in and I was like grabbing handfuls and saying, I'll have this, I'll have this. And he said, you can't have all that because you've only got a shilling. And I was like, oh, okay. But it was the fact that this white girl had the privilege of being able to go in there and see that, and me being black never had the privilege until I was able to do it because of the shopkeeper. So that's just a very small, account of some of the racism. But it does get to you if you let it get to you, because it is all around and it happens every day. It happens all of the time. I mean, it even happened to me yesterday. So, you just have to understand when it happens and you have to deal with it. You have to talk about it as well. Talking about it is really, really helpful. But I did have some dark moments when I was younger. And it culminated in her. Oh, it's very difficult because there's some things that I don't want to really say and don't want to talk about. But, they did culminate in me sort of harming myself. And so, I took that further. And then when I was in the RAF, I ended up having some therapy, which helped me a lot because I was able then to, face all the issues that I had. And I'm glad that I did. And I got the best treatment in the RAF, which was really good. But, it's all these issues do help to make you stronger as a person, as long as you look positive and look forward, because I always say, Ben, that the wake doesn't drive my boat. I always look forward because positivity is the way forward. You mustn't look back.
So when you were joining it sounds like joining the RAF, was that the turning point in your life?
Yeah, I think so. I lived in a town where we were the only black family in the whole town. Sorry, I do lie. There was the midwife's family that was in the town as well, and she was a black lady. And there was only us two families in the whole town. And I remember quite vividly when I was walking down the street and some guy called me the N-word across the road, and I just ran across the road and he was eating some chips and beans, and I just remember picking the beans up in his hand and stuffing them in his face, because how dare he abuse me across the street? What right has he got? So I ended up doing
hold on, Sandra, you stood up to him, did you?
Yes,
did I hear?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that part of your journey, in order for you to grow up, is one, you learned to stand up for yourself somehow, and also to I'm guessing in the RAF they treated you very differently from how you'd been behaved before. Would that be the case, or did you have other challenges within the RAF?
No. I mean, I was treated okay, but there were people who obviously were, covertly and very overtly racist towards me.
Right.
As a whole, because I was a really good sports person, I was quite, handy. To represent the Royal Air Force in the different sports that I took part in. So I wasn't at work a lot, but when I was at work, I did sometimes get a lot of abuse, and but it's very subtle. I mean, racist abuse can be so subtle that you feel it. It's a feeling rather than an action sometimes. Yeah.
Isn't that microaggression?
Microaggressions, yes, absolutely. Yeah. And you get a lot of them, but they are so subtle, they're deafening to people like myself, and you can tell straight away when somebody is being racist towards you, or an event's happening and it's excluding you. Straight away, because it's a feeling. You get I call it my hackles. My hackles come up, when these things happen. But overall, the RAF was a very, very positive experience for me, sports wise and career wise. But again, I didn't progress in my career like I could have done, because I was always fighting battles.
Right. Did that therapy help you reduce those battles by dealing with people differently, or dealing with internal stuff?
No, no, because you still deal with people. People are people, and it doesn't matter what therapy you get. You still have to deal with people, and when people have got unconscious bias and they have these internal issues that they have, you just have to keep going. I was probably the only black person around in the I was one of two black girls in the RAF where I was. I mean, there was a few more girls that were athletes, in Cosford and places like that had the athletic stadiums. But no, it was a very lonely place to be.
Right. Dr. J, did you want to add anything to that?
Yes. Because I'm still sitting here thinking about the clip that we watched, and how that was a year ago, and you're sitting here today looking like a completely different person, and knowing how hard it must have been and everything you've been through. I just would love, before the end of the program, if you could share with us, what have you been doing the last year that you're able to sit here and have so much energy and look as gorgeous as you do?
Well, my energy has never failed. My energy does not stop. I mean, when I was going through my chemo treatment, and I mean my transplant, which was massive industrial dose chemotherapy, I actually had a sign on the door saying, "Please do not enter, exam in progress." I'm doing my master's degree, and I was doing an exam when I was being pumped full of this chemotherapy, and they were like, "Can't believe this woman is actually still doing an assignment for her master's," And I also did an interview while I was in hospital as well. And, I just found a nice clear wall, and I just stood against it, and I did a TV interview while I was in hospital, because you see, I have energy. I've got a lot of energy, and I've got a lot of, I've been given a mission, I'm on a mission. And my mission is, I haven't finished my mission, and my mission is still there, and I've got to keep going. So nothing gets in my way. And this year, unfortunately, I had a run-in with somebody that put my blood pressure up massively, and I ended up going into hospital. But when I went into hospital, I actually contracted COVID, and that was the end of January. And I spent the whole of February in hospital on a high flow CPAP machine, with prongs up my nose, and on 60 litres of oxygen, and at one point I felt like I thought I was going to die. Not because I felt ill, it's because I couldn't breathe. My oxygen exchange, O2, CO2 exchange wasn't working. And that's what happens with COVID. And I got that one point at 3 o'clock in the morning where I said, I can't do this anymore. And then I prayed and I prayed. And at the end of the day, I got the strength to carry on doing it. And then the next day, my oxygen started coming up. The levels started coming up. And I went back onto the ward 2 weeks later. So, I came out of hospital after losing the whole of February. And now what we are now, we're on the end of April. So
this February that just passed.
Yeah, it's just gone. Yeah. And I had a bone marrow transplant in June, just gone, last June. So, you know, by rights, I shouldn't actually be here. But, you know, I kept my vitamin C up. I kept my vitamin D up. And I'm a firm believer in vitamins. If you make sure that you keep high in vitamin C, which is an antioxidant, and high in vitamin D, which is what we need to help bolster our immune system, you know, it helps us get through these things.
You know, this is very bizarre, because today I was in conversation with a doctor who was also is very much into the vitamins, but also was sharing about how many people caught secondary infections. You know, they went in for something else and they got COVID or whatever it is as a result of being in hospital. So we would discuss, Dr. J knows a unit that I'm working on to reduce secondary infection. But that's, I mean, this is the whole point I'm making. Ages ago, when you got out of that dark space, it put you on a different way, so that, you know, it's like nothing can stop you. I don't know what your mission is, by the way. What is it?
My mission is to help the horses of the world, and to be that voice for those horses that cannot speak, you know, and to help them in the way that Mother Nature wants them to be fed and to be looked after. That is my role. I feel that that's what I've been asked by the animal angels to protect them.
Okay, so
we need to take a break.
Oh, it's getting so exciting.
She wanted go ahead. We'll take a break in another minute.
No, it just sounds like that mission, that overall mission is keeping you high, so that it doesn't matter what is thrown at you, you know, disease, you know, secondary infections, racism, sexism, you know, whatever's happening, it's not stopping you, because your mission is so strong in your head. While the advert's going on, could I just ask you to move more centrally, because your hands are going off the screen?
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Right.
Okay.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay with us.
Okay.
The world of healthcare is benefiting us in many ways, but the risk of becoming a victim to an airborne infection is increasing at a fast pace too. There are threats from viruses, allergic pollen, and chemicals which cause you loss of health, income, business, mental health, family and friends. All are at stake. One solution to this threat are the BV Air sanitation Placide-based systems. When you call our team on 0208 104 3253, you find out about the amazing protection available. Protection that uses certified Battlefield, tested, standard and customized air disinfection systems for your personal and business use. Each system uses a filterless technology known as Placide, which attacks all airborne particles with microlighting to destroy and eliminate viruses and other harmful particles in your office, transport and home. You also benefit from extra bonuses such as low running and maintenance costs, no regular filter and part changes. You get to work with our trained experts and professional staff and be made aware of the latest in airborne protection and disinfection strategy. Keep yourself healthy by working with our trained experts and Placide virus killing systems, which keep you safe from airborne viruses. BV Air Sanitation Limited. We save lives, save businesses, and prevent infection. Schedule your free consultancy call and virus protection checklist. Call 0208 104 3253 or connect to us on www.bvbuster.com.
Located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey, is Margie Cedrone, artisan jeweler. Margie's been in business for more than 30 years. She works with her clients to create custom pieces of jewelry to reflect their personality and help them make their own bold statement. Starting in the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia in 1988, Margie works directly with her clients to develop one-of-a-kind pieces such as necklaces, engagement rings, wedding bands, unique watches and tennis bracelets, as well as a myriad of rings and earrings for everyone in your family. She also has worked directly with Dr. Jacalyn over the years, creating unique pieces of jewelry to reflect her personality. She does pearl stringing and repairs on site at 121 Haddon Avenue. Call or text Margie at 215-384-7155. Margie Sajone Jewelry is open by appointment only. Make your own bold statement. Oh, here we are. We're back, and everybody moved around.
Oh, that's what we like to do. PG tips. That's what we have in the UK. It's builder's tea.
What? Oh, builder's tea?
Yeah, we call it builder's tea because they just have it really strong, and they have like 2 or 3 tea bags in a mug. It's like really, really strong. You don't sleep forever after having this kind of tea. It's World Tea Day. Okay. Show us your.
This is tea for horses. This is tea for horses.
Okay, tell us more about it.
Tell us more about tea for horses, Sandra.
This is Hydrate. This is my equine smoothie. Yeah, this is, you can lead a horse to water and you can make it drink. Yeah, and it's called Hydrate. And if you've ever had an issue with a horse not drinking, and they don't drink because they're under stress. And when they're under stress, horses don't drink because of their fight or flight mechanism. It's not that they don't like the water, and it's not like it doesn't taste very nice. It's just the fact that their system's shut down. And so if you can make trick a horse into thinking that it's eating, but really it's drinking, you can get it to drink as much as you like. And in here, there's enough for 15 litres of a horsey smoothie whenever you want your horse to drink. So, it helps to reduce things like dehydration, which causes colic, which is the biggest killer of horses in the world. So there you go. There's the horsey tea.
Can you share with us what's in the horsey tea?
It's grass.
Have you ever drunk it yourself?
Oh, yes. I used to have it in a smoothie all the time. I used to have my Equigel in a smoothie all the time. But this...
So Sandra, did you used to have it yourself?
Yes, I used to have a spoonful of Equigel in my smoothie in the morning, and that's Equigel there. That's the leaf of Equigel.
Just
so it's natural, 100% natural. We don't have any chemicals, any additives, any GMO. It is 100% Mother Nature.
Oh my
Bravo!
Goodness. I'm going to start crying in there. So, Sandra, some of what I'm hearing so far is some of the challenges that you face and some of the lessons you learned. One is to kind of stand up in your own way to the people causing you challenges, like that sometimes you just feel it. You don't know why, but you just feel that someone is making kind of digs at you and undermining you, which in a previous interview we found was called microaggressions. Mm-hmm. And the other thing was that it seems like within the RAF, you surrounded yourself with predominantly people who supported you in your life, not particularly in jobs, but just were there for you. And the third thing was you found someone, call it a therapist, call it a friend, whoever, who could reflect back to you and help you think through some of the challenges that you were going through your life. Is that correct so far?
Yeah, I mean, you must have. I was in the RAF for 12 years. I wasn't under therapy for 12 years. It was
I know. But it's funny because in the UK, we in the States, therapy is kind of like a thing, and it's not a big thing. Whereas in the UK, we think it's therapy, we shouldn't do that. But my friend Johnny, who Dr. J interviewed a while back, he said to me, he went to therapy. He said, and he didn't need to. It was actually for somebody else, but they didn't turn up. So he thought he'd go along, and he said, this is pretty cool. I'm going to turn up for a few more of those sessions. Ben, you should do it. I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'll go and do it. The fourth thing that I heard you say is you learned to be positive. Now, for me, I don't understand that word because I've seen good positivity and toxic positivity. So I'm kind of just trying to understand what positivity meant to you and how you kind of got it out through your body and through yourself.
Yeah, when you're in the Royal Air Force, I think you get taught a lot of discipline. You get, you're very focused in yourself, and you're very, you learn to be very, what's the word I'm trying to find? You're very confident. You're confident in yourself, and you're confident in the way you come across. And so, I never felt really when I was in the RAF that it was, the RAF that made me feel bad. It's some of my previous experiences when I was younger. But like I say, everybody's got these experiences. It's just how you deal with them. Now, I dealt with mine through the RAF by playing sport and being very good at sport, and that's the thing. And I was also good at everything else. Not singing my praises, but I was UK lorry driver, the female lorry driver of the year for 4 years running, because I was a HGV1 lorry driver.
Wait, can I just ask what that is? I'm sorry.
I drove articulated lorries when I was in the RAF.
So it's an articulated lorry, a lorry that's very good at speaking and can articulate well?
It's a 40-footer. It's a lorry with a 40-foot trailer on the back.
So Dr. J, can you translate that into American language? What's a 40-foot lorry called? It's just a very, very big,
Truck.
Truck. Yeah, truck. Truck.
So a truck, but the lorry
truck.
Yeah,
it's totally covered. You've seen them in films, these.
It's a Mack truck. You like on the the film, the cars, the big truck, yeah, with the 40-foot trailer on. I used to drive them, yeah, and I was, I was UK lorry driver of the year for 4 years running. So when I do something, Ben, I do it well. I can't help it. It's just me.
Sandra, you were in tremendous pain and you refused to stay still at the event. You kept walking around on your crutches all over the place. So I totally get it, sweetie.
And crutches are hard to walk on. They're so painful under your arms and your hands.
Yes, I was on crutches for about 3 months. Yeah, because I was in kidney failure when I saw you, Ben, by the way. I just thought I'd let you know.
Thank you for that.
That's finished. That's fine. That's done.
At the event, you shared about some of the challenges of being, black and a lady in the horse world.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about that and how other ladies, if they want, because I know I think your daughter, as a result of it, just quit. And I just wondered, what can you share with ladies who want to be in this world, in areas which are kind of exclusive to men, because I know some of my lady friends around the other parts of the world, it's not like that, but I know in this world it was.
Yeah, I mean, in the equine industry, it's predominantly middle-class men that run the equine industry, and being a business in that equine industry, it's very difficult to be recognised. Even just as a lady on my own, as a female, it's hard to be recognised and appreciated. But being a black female is even harder. I mean, I had a statistic the other day that less than 0.02% of black female entrepreneurs get funding. I've had no funding. Everything I've done, funded myself, or had some family help, but I've had no funding. Can't even get a bank overdraft. Even now, 7 years later, and I'm exporting around the world, I still can't get a bank overdraft. It's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers. And one of the hardest things is the fact that you get so much pushback, even though I've created something that's so monumentally phenomenal. They're still trying to find ways of doing it the old way, rather than taking on board something that a black female has invented. They'd rather do it the old way and struggle, rather than use something that is absolutely 100% natural for horses. But it is getting out because they can't stop it. In the UK, they want to try and dumb it down and keep it quiet, keep it under wraps. But in other countries, they're loving it. I'm just going into America. That's why I'm going in at the beginning of June to North Carolina. And then we've got an event in October in Kentucky. So I'm now going into America because I know that they will need it. They need the product over there. They need my experience and my talent over there. Whereas in the UK, they just don't want to know. They're like, oh, no, you can't possibly know what you're doing. You're black. How can you? I've had 50 years of experience. I'm not saying I know it all, but I know 50 years worth of experience is a lot when it comes to horses.
You are quite formidable, Sandra, I have to say.
I love your passion.
Dr. J, we must introduce Sandra to Swampy, who lives in Kentucky. and
Yes.
he's just an amazing guy. And I know did he get funding for his water treatments? Well, anyway, I'm sure he can connect with Sandra, at least show her around Kentucky if you want contacts there, Sandra. And he's very much a man of the earth and nature.
We actually have an Earth Day show with him tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'd love any contacts that you can get is great, because the thing about it is getting me out where I need to be. And in the UK, they try and keep me down and try and keep me quiet. But now they're starting to realise that they can't keep this quiet. This is an amazing find. It's an amazing thing that I've done. And even though I say it myself, I have to say it myself, because if I don't, nobody will say it for me. I even won the Black British Business Award. Yeah, I won those, and that's as a senior leader. Yeah, and they didn't even publish it in the Equine Trade News, in the newspaper. They wouldn't even publish anything like that. So nothing went out, even though I won this award, even though I've created the world's first and I've got a patent. They don't want to put it in unless I pay lots and lots of money for advertising. And so that's a sort of form of bribery, I think. You know.
So just to help share something a little bit, magazines have changed a tiny bit to the days when I used to be an editor for magazines, and there's a lot of magazines now that if you want to be on the front cover, you would pay for it. Whereas when I was editor, we would just, if there was something outstanding you did, we'd have you on that front cover
as news, as
part of news. Yes, absolutely.
This is what I'm saying. I said, can you not put it on as news? Yeah. Oh no, not unless you pay. And I just said, well, that's fine then. So. My story doesn't get out, and it's not me. I'm not moaning about it, because Equigel and all my other products, they've all got their own legs.
So Sandra, your story is getting out at the moment through Dr. J's amazing book.
Thank you.
And I can tell you, there's a lot of people watching this right now, and we just don't. This is the journey. We just don't know where it's going. Plus, they're seeing all the value that you're giving to people who've gone through. Your journey, and this kind of, when people connect authentically with other people, rather than, because we have this problem, don't we, Dr. J? We've seen this where people just keep pitching at us all the time, and we don't see any of the authenticity. And Dr. J and I, we just kind of leave the room, or we just joke about them afterwards. So literally, that's what we do. But you sharing your journey and some of the gems to help people get out of it is just amazing.
It'll definitely come back to you.
Yeah.
Sandra, I just want one thing. Yeah. So remember, we have a whole audience on Business Talk Radio, and we've been streaming your banner, and I don't want to forget, but how can people reach you?
Well, you can check out the website, www.equidiet.org.uk. You can go on there, or you can Google equine hydrotherapy, because that's what I do, equine nutritional hydrotherapy. And that's a concept that I pioneered, equine nutritional hydrotherapy. So that's a way of getting fluid into a horse using good quality nutrition, and that is in the form of fiber. And so you can go there, or you can go at, I think we've got Instagram, we've got, just Google Equigel, EQUIDGEL, Equigel, and that will get you anywhere, because we're the only people that do it. We're unique.
That's great. So, thank you.
Yeah. So
thank you. You are just a ball of fire. I mean, I'm ready to go out jogging.
Well, I do swim. I swim a mile 3 times. Well, I swim a mile 3 times a week. So, even now after COVID, I'm still swimming. So, I swam a mile yesterday, 64 lengths yesterday.
Congratulations.
I ride as well. So I just competed in my first competition on Sunday on my stallion, who's the world's first Equigel stallion, and he's awesome. And I competed for the first time in 6 years. Yes, on Sunday. I got second.
Woo! I love it. You go, girl. What's the name of your stallion?
My stallion's called Silver Monarch, and he's AKA Monet, and he's a piebald, black and white stallion, and he's not had a traditional feed past his lips in his 8 years. So he's just had Equigel and grass or hay. That's all he's ever had. And he is stunning.
There's something to be said about that. It really matters what you put into your body. So we do have a question from Azadeh. She wants to know, do you ever sleep? How often?
This is the thing. For 16 years, I only had 4 hours sleep for 16 years. But then obviously with having cancer, because it's due to stress and not sleeping enough, not eating properly, etc., I now make sure my alarm goes off at 9 o'clock at night. I totally ignore it and go to bed at about 11. So so I get to bed about 11 and I go to sleep about 12ish, and I'm up at 6 every morning. So I get about 6 hours sleep, and that's plenty for me.
Yeah.
So I do meditate though. I meditate before I go to sleep, and I meditate when I wake up in the morning, and pray in the morning, every morning.
May I ask a question just to follow up? I thought I heard you say something to the effect just now that stress, not eating right, not getting enough sleep, that led to cancer. Is that what I heard?
That led to I think, this is my opinion, I'm not a doctor, but this led to this is my opinion, that the fact that I was under a lot of stress. My dad was dying. I was traveling backwards and forwards to London 3 times a week, which is nearly 1,500 miles a week. So I was looking after him. I was running 2 businesses, looking after 4 horses, 2 children. I'm a single parent. Yeah. And I was only getting 2 or 3 hours sleep, eating rubbish on the motorways, trying to get something to eat. And literally the day that I had a big argument with my family and I cracked. And I think that day was the day that it triggered my myeloma. And I didn't know this until my horse crushed me. And that's when we found it. So thank God for my horses, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here today. So I don't, I'm not mad at her. But, at the end of the day, yes, stress is a killer. And I've just got to tell you, stress, the chemicals it emits through your body are terrible. So stress is a killer.
It sounds like the horse picked up your emotions. So I have a good friend, Nadia Borsch, who trains women in their empowerment in themselves through horses, and she says they pick up on their emotions. But I was saying to her, Nadia, I don't understand this, because I've been out with Nadia a few times with the horses. I said, I don't like horses, but they seem okay around me. She says, the thing is, you don't feel threatened by them. So you're okay to touch them things, but I don't like them because they're always having flies around them and stuff like that. It's not, I say to the horse, nothing personal. But,
Isn't that what they have the big tail for, to swat the flies away?
But she says you're confident around them, and horses apparently pick up your emotions. So if I was afraid, or if I had emotional stress going around, they'd pick it up and react to that. Is that true?
Yeah, because they're fight or flight animals. They have a heightened sense of emotional, everything happening around them, because they're not like us as humans, because we're the hunters. Yeah, we don't have to worry about what's hiding behind that tree, but they have to worry about all these things, and that's what a lot of people don't understand about horses, and the psychology behind horses is that they're not the hunter, they're the hunted. And they have a completely different set of instincts than we have. So yes, they do. And not only that, dogs as well. I mean, my little Jack Russell over here, he's just been right down by my knees. He hasn't left my side. He hadn't left my side the whole time I was diagnosed with cancer. That dog was by my side here most of the time. He wouldn't leave me. And it was him that made me realize there was something going on, because he never left my side. But now he's fine. He sits away from me. He knows that I'm in remission, and I'm better. So animals are awesome. They have a huge sense of understanding, because they don't have verbal understanding, verbal communication. So they have this sense, they can sense emotions.
So it sounds like your version of positivity is doing a lot of exercise, which you'll naturally do, but also you're surrounded by your animals, who are your friends, kind of thing, who are kind of supporting you a little bit. And the other thing you have is meditation and prayer, which are also, so that when these microaggressions or magazines, for whatever reason, it's news and they don't want to publish it, and you're feeling angry inside, that doesn't turn into negativity, because you're getting rid of it through exercise and just so you don't focus on it and stress out of it all the time. Would that be right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Ben. I mean, it's so easy to slip into negative ways. It's so easy for one negative thought to go into two, to go into four, and to manifest into a huge issue. So what you need to do is make sure that that you don't allow. You can have negative thoughts and toxic thoughts, but just get rid of them. Just don't dwell on them. I had to actually, to get to where I am now, looking at me glowing and happy, I've actually been a horrendous time. I had to release a lot of toxic energy around me, and that includes my family. I've had to release them, because without releasing them, I wasn't able to find me. And now I've been able to find myself, and it's just an awesome place to be. This is the first year on Saturday I spent my birthday on my own completely in my life. And you know what? It was the best birthday I have had ever. It was awesome. And the sun was out. It was shining and it was beautiful. It was warm. I was with my horses, and I couldn't have been in a better place. If I'd stayed with the negativity and the toxicity that was around me, I would have been dead.
I totally get that.
I believe that.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, I've had to let go of my family as well, and a few of them have come back as a result of that. But it was like causing me more toxicity. Yes. But that's the hardest thing, isn't it? We always say to people, hang around positive people, get rid of the negative. But when it's your family, it's so
very
hard
difficult
to remove away from that.
It's very difficult. And when I say my family, I'm talking about my beautiful children. I spoilt them. I spoilt them so bad. They had everything. But the thing is, they've got to understand. They've got to learn. So the best thing, I brought them up. They're both adults, but they've got to go and live their lives. And once they've realised what they've said and how they've treated me, later on, hopefully they'll just come back. But in the meantime, I am looking after myself. For the first time, I'm actually putting so much more into me that it's glowing. You can see how.
You can see it, because the greatest love of all is to learning to love yourself.
The greatest. Yes.
Love of all.
To me. Everybody.
We keep
learning to love yourself. It is the greatest love of all.
So we keep getting messages from Azaid, who does the performance show, and she said an awesome place to be, which is also, that phrase is also, I think, in that song. Yes,
I agree. You should actually come on our show and sing. The show's called It's Your Stage.
I can sing a little bit. I actually did an audition at X Factor, actually, as well. I took my daughter for X Factor, and I waited so long. I said, I'm going to have a go at this. I'm not going to stand in this queue for 17 hours and not have a go myself. So I went in and had a go.
You see, that is positivity, isn't it? You're just having a go at things whether you succeed or not, you're just going at it, So that's
absolutely.
I think there have been so many lessons.
If I succeed, if I fail, I will live as I believe. That's the greatest.
Live on my own terms. I was going to say, there have been so many lessons that we've had here today from Sandra. I can't believe we're at the top of the hour for our show.
Already?
Yes, it just flies by. So for people who are watching or listening, I always like to ask my guests, what message would you leave with us today about when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling low, and you've been stepped on, kept back, pushed aside? What should someone do?
You just need to focus on moving forward. Yes, you are going to have setbacks all the time. Everybody has setbacks. Failure is a setup for positivity. You've got to look at failure. I've been on Dragon's Den, and I did that 2007, and it didn't go through how I wanted it to, but I learned from it. It gave me a bigger picture, so I could then develop something further down the line. I didn't know that I was going to develop Equigel, but the actual experience of being on Dragon's Den and failing meant that I was going to be more determined to win next time. And I didn't go on Dragon's Den again with this, because I don't need to. It's done its own thing because of the experience I've got and I've had. So I just say to people, you know, if you've got a desire, if you've got something that you really want to do in your life, go for it. Don't let anybody stand in your way. Focus, keep going, and keep looking forward. Don't look back. You will never, ever win a race if you stop halfway. Simple.
Wow.
Bravo.
Wow.
Bravo.
You'll never ever win a race if you stop halfway. Just for my American brothers and sisters, a Dragon's Den is similar to Shark Tank. So
Thank you. I was wondering that.
Yeah.
Well, it has been absolutely lovely having you on the show, and I hope you will come back and see us and let us know what you're up to next, because I know you're just going forward, as you just said.
Well, you know what, Dr. J, if there's any millionaires out there that want to come and sweep me off my feet, I'm very, very welcome. You know,
I'm running your banner again. Okay.
I think there are a lot of lovely Americans who will have you, quite honestly.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think you would be a superstar. You know, I've been in Clubhouse with the Americans. You'd be a hit, Sandra. Seriously.
Well, let's see. I'm going over to America at the beginning of June. You never know. You never know. But they've got to like horses. If they don't like horses, forget it.
They're out. They're out. There's plenty of wealthy men who like horses, believe me.
So, wow, this has been a great, great time. And I love the tea that you're, I'm not selling tea. I don't know why I've loads
I know you're pushing the tea a lot. Yeah.
Well, it's tea celebration day, 21st of April. Yeah.
It's also the Queen's birthday today. We found it, Her Majesty. It's her birthday. So
yes, and royal people, royal commentators apparently flirt with you on this day, Dr. J.
Apparently. I can't address that right now. But anyway, it's time for us to go. Sandra, thank you again. You are just an incredible inspiration. And I know that you're just going to continue to blow us away with what you're accomplishing. So please do come back. And also please sign up for It's Your Stage. We'd love to have you perform, whatever it is.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll have a go.
Okay. All right, good. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, take care. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Sandra. Bye.
Ben, what would you like to leave with our audience, aside from the fact we do have a room this evening on Clubhouse?
Yes, the sing your song in the shower. What is it?
Sing your song in the shower. No, this, I don't know. Azadeh, what is it? Can you look it up?
Well, whatever it is, it's just like wherever you sing your go-to song, car, bedroom, shower, come into Clubhouse, hear people sing those songs, or come in on stage and sing your song as well.
Give us an example. What do you sing in the shower or in your car?
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, you first.
Somewhere over the rainbow. I don't know.
I think mine varies. For a long time, I used to sing the Rainbow Song.
The one I just said?
No. Yours is different. Mine is Kermit the Frog. How does it go? Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Anyway, that's the song my go-to song.
I love it. Will you do me the pleasure of singing the Dr. Jacalyn rap? Do you have it there somewhere?
The Dr. J rap.
Dr. J rap.
The Dr. J rap. Oh my goodness. Yes, I do. But while I'm pulling it up, why don't you share about some of the other shows that are coming up?
Yes, thank you. So today we have other shows coming up. Here it is. Azadeh found it. Thank you. It's your shower/car song. Thank you so much, dear. Today at 2 p.m. we have the Business Talk Show with my co-host Al Cini and our Sean McBride. And our Sean McBride is actually my attorney, with whom I met through someone I met on Clubhouse, through someone else. So you just never know where things are going to go. Then at 4 o'clock, we have A Better You. We have two presenters today. We have Diane, Floyd Bame, and Poonam, who is joining us. That's going to be fabulous because they're going to educate us on things that we might not know that can make us better as a person. Then at 5 o'clock, we're over on Clubhouse in the Social Magnetism Club. in the room called Your Shower/Car Song. And it will be Azadeh, Ben, and myself. Then at 7 o'clock, we have In the Name of Love with my co-host, Kimmy Seltzer. And at 8 o'clock, we're back on Clubhouse in the Connection and Mingle room. So this is a music room that House Radio and John Cataldi and Lorianne Speed will be playing music. Lorianne will be playing live piano music from Vancouver. And John and House Radio will be playing whatever the music is, the theme is for tonight. So have you found it yet, my friend?
Yeah, I have. I'm just trying to put myself into rap mode, really.
Rap music. Yeah, yes, so that's what we have going on today.
I've been researching Eminem, and I mean, that guy is amazing. The way he does his lyrics, it's just amazing. But this is no Eminem. This is just Ben's attempt. A career coach who helps people with anxiety in the comfort of your home and confidentiality, builds a plan to overcome them. It's Dr. Jacalyn, who's such a gem. Her many certifications will drive you wild, such as certified coaching in style, certified in yoga, career and mediations. Check out her other certifications. Her weekly shows will lift you high with insights that will make you cry from happiness. So come and enjoy. Connect with her. She's the real McCoy.
Woo! I've got to give you a standing ovation for that. Woo! That was brilliant. Thank you. We are going on the road with that after COVID. So, love that rap. Thank you. I don't know why we don't get the Facebook user's name from that one page. Yes, right? You've got to come on. It's your stage, Ben. Come on, you've got to.
No, I'm filling up that program. Actually, I've got a lot of people who want to be on the stage. A lot of comedians. I've got a voiceover artist who's signing up for it. He does kind of like impressions of different people. I've got a belly dancer I've reached out to, so she's wondering how that would work with the podcast. Just some fantastic people. So as
thanks, Vanessa.
You've got your hands full, sweetie.
By the way, I think belly dancing, I took one belly dancing course and class, I should say, and it's really difficult work. And right now, after being in for all this time, I need some belly dancing lessons because it makes your whole core stronger. Who doesn't want that?
Have a look at my Facebook and you'll see the lady I'm asking to see if she'd like to be on your show.
Okay, I would love that. Thank you. Yeah. Keep the guests coming. And Vanessa, by the way, does a great job. She has sent me a ton of guests too. So thank you, Vanessa. Brilliant. Thank you, Ben. We are going to sign off now and look forward to having you back next week. But we do have a show tomorrow, Ben, at 2 p.m. It's Earth Day. And our guest is Kent Swampy Glade. Anything you want to say about that?
Yes, 2 p.m. is in Eastern time and 7 p.m. in UK time.
Perfect. And I think we have 5 shows tomorrow. I don't remember. So that's a wrap for today. We're really glad that you were here with us. And we're glad that so many people watched the show earlier when we had the royal commentators on. So come back and see us again soon. Ben, it's a pleasure. I'll see you in the shower. No, not really. I'll be singing in the shower with you later. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.